Netcasts you love.
From people you trust.
This is Twit.
Here is a state-of-the-art device. Alex,
state-of-the-art.
Alex Gumpel is here. He's the flow master in charge of all things flowish.
Yeah, that's what I hear.
And also a big fan of Windows 8.1. You had a Surface RT.
Right, I have a Surface RT, which is right here.
You have a Surface Pro, right?
No Pro.
No, never got the Pro. So you're an RT guy.
I'm an RT guy.
Okay. Well, I also had the Surface RT.
The Pro is a laptop replacement. I don't need that.
No, if you're going to have a tablet, go with the tablet OS. And I'm kind of with you on that.
Right.
Now, people did say that once you put 8.1 on the original Surface RT, it wasn't so bad.
Right. It definitely made it much better usability.
Right.
And a little bit faster, but it still was sluggish. That was the biggest issue for me, was that it was sluggish.
So Microsoft just on a few weeks ago, shipped the Surface 2. Now,
Surface 2.
This is we got to explain the nomenclature.
Naming conventions, yes. Yeah. So Surface 2 is the sequel to the Surface RT.
But there's no RT in the name.
No RT in the name,
but it is
RT.
Okay.
So Surface 2, the old one was a Tegra 3. They bumped it up to a Tegra 4. So it's running Windows RT 8.1.
Right.
And because it's Windows, like a benefit that you get is even though it's a tablet, you have user accounts. So if you're passing this around to people,
others can use it.
Account, and it's all their own personalized stuff, just like a regular Windows.
Of course, it's faster. Of course, it's got the new version of Windows. But the thing that seemed the biggest change to me is the screen. It's now 1080p.
Right, it's a 1080p screen, like the the original Surface Pro was, and now both the Pro 2 and the 2 have.
That's a big difference.
Yeah, it's well, the old one wasn't bad, but you can't notice it, of course, on the camera.
You can't on the camera. In fact, I can't notice it from here. Well, but if you got close, you would.
If you got close, yeah, if you're actually like reading it like an article, then yeah.
I pay attention to this stuff. I like a crisp, clear display, and frankly, these high-res displays have become standard across all operating systems, so it only makes sense to put it on.
And part of Windows 8.1 was improving its kind of the foundation for allowing that kind of stuff.
Do you notice the speed is better?
Yeah, it's definitely much snappier. It can still chug if you have a bunch of tabs open in IE. It's kind of waiting for the tabs to load can still take some time, but it's definitely faster than the old one was in that. But apps load quicker. The other thing is it's just overall just snappier.
A big selling point of Windows RT, and that's true of the Surface 2, is it comes with a full version of Office.
Right, so it's got Office RT 2013.
That's included, which is a great deal.
And including Outlook now in the 8.1 version.
But the thing to understand is it doesn't run Windows Pro apps, traditional Windows apps. It only runs these new modern UI stuff.
It's only Windows Store apps.
Yeah.
Except for Office, but that's because that's their own voodoo.
The Office is the one exception there, yeah. All right.
So basically everything about it has been improved upon the old one. The body itself is just a hair thinner and a hair lighter.
I noticed
it's not really noticeable.
The vapor deposition magnesium, they've gone from this dark gray, which was a little fingerprint magnety
to this. The texture, it's a little bit textured. So this one is very smooth. This one has some texture on it. It doesn't have all the fingerprints that the old one had.
It's still magnesium, but I think it's a much nicer feel.
No, I do like it a lot.
Yeah.
Also, if it doesn't really matter, but this was actually 3 pieces of magnesium here. They reduced it to 2 here. So the side and the back is now one unibody piece.
They also added another click angle, which I think is really great.
Kickstand, it comes out like the old one did, but it also has an additional thing here for tall people like me, for instance.
Well, I think
this is a much better angle at using it.
If you're in an airline seat or you're sitting at breakfast and this angle doesn't work for you for whatever reason, it's nice to have a second choice.
And also, it's much better in lap when you have it this way.
Yes, I agree. Keyboard is the same, though, right?
Well,
similar.
Similar, yeah.
This is the
original
keyboard.
touch cover.
This
is the type cover 2.
Okay.
So they did improve that. It's now backlit. Compared to the old type cover, the keys are a little bit different. But
it also has battery.
No, this one does not have battery.
It does not, okay.
The power cover is coming out early next year,
That's coming.
That's going to be like $200 just for that.
But that will add some 3 hours
but
to the
which
battery
for
life.
this one you don't really need. That would be more for the Pro, for like getting really all-day battery life on a Pro.
What did you get on this?
This is it's all day for just casual use.
10 hours, 12,
8 to 10 hours or so. If you don't use it, it'll last days and days.
So what is new with the keyboard cover than the touch cover?
Mostly it's that it's backlit.
Oh, backlit. That's neat.
So, the lights are on, so you can't really see it. But it's backlit.
That's another thing, like high-res displays we've gotten used to. having backlit.
Now, but this is the type cover. The touch cover too, which I don't have, actually is much improved. So the old one, each key was its own individual sensor. So there's like 88 sensors or something. The new one has like 1,000 sensors across the whole plane.
So you can type more accurately.
It's essentially like a giant touch pad.
Wow.
So so for a keyboard, it will improve the accuracy because it's kind of measuring in between and trying to calculate what you're trying to do. But also what's cool is that it has the possibility for future improvement of different kinds of devices that use
overlay.
They have an overlay that's customized for that a certain thing.
Oh, that's neat.
So
for gaming,
they have
that might be
that
great.
DJ cover that's I haven't really seen, but yeah, exactly.
Is this backlit? No.
The new type cover is.
It is.
It is.
Well, that's impressive. All right. So both covers backlit.
Right. So another thing about the old one that a lot of people didn't like was that the speakers are really quiet. Yeah. They improved that with a firmware update. The new one is actually better than that. They put some Dolby something in there to make it better.
Yeah. It's got doubling.
So I mean, you can't actually have it enough to kind of fill a room in here, like a small room. I mean, it's small. Not a giant studio, but if you have a small room, if you're by yourself, like you can.
If you're all alone in a closet,
if you're watching,
it's much like your office. Would be perfect.
Yes, exactly. If you're watching a movie or something, you can have it there.
You can actually hear it. Probably not on an airplane, and you wouldn't want to have it on an airplane out loud. But yeah, no, I can hear it.
Now, one problem though is that because the Dolby thing is boosting it, if you play something that's actually loud enough, it does crackle a bit. So I don't know if you can hear this, but
it sounds horrible. Oh wait a minute, no, that's just the Beach Boys.
Yeah, but it's just subtly there, but it's crackling a little bit.
Yeah.
So it's because they're just boosting it too much for the speakers to handle. But you can actually disable that stuff if by an old Windows trick of going to your speaker properties and going to the thing there of
and turning the thing.
Oh, let's see. So playback and the speakers properties and advanced, and then here we go. It's enable audio enhancements. You would just uncheck that, and then that would disable that. But then it's much quieter, but it's more pure sound.
Now, are you using this primarily as a tablet? Because I noticed once we get on the desktop, I had the same problem with the old Surface. The touch targets on the Windows are so small; it's very difficult to use this.
Right.
With the touch.
It's mostly a tablet. Occasionally, I can get around and move files.
Right. And of course, with the Type keyboard, you do have a trackpad, so you can use a mouse and get more accurate mousing.
So what I was saying is, you don't with the speakers in here, you don't get a pure sound. But if you were using pure sound, you'd want external speakers or headphones.
Absolutely.
So a thing is that this has a full-size USB 3 port. Because it's Tegra 4, so that's USB 3 now. So you can plug in an external DAC similar to the one that I reviewed like a year ago, and
get
plug
really
in
good
speakers.
sound. Yeah.
So and speaking of the USB, you can plug full-size flash drive in, a hard drive, keyboard and mouse.
Let me ask you about that.
Printer, scanner.
I don't think of Windows RT as having downloadable drivers. It feels to me.
It can pull from Windows Update. You can't download them from like a vendor because no one's compiling them for RT. But Microsoft has basic drivers for most things.
So in theory, you could add hardware and somebody could create drivers but they'd have to sell it through the App Store.
I think so. Yes.
Or Windows Update directly.
So, yeah.
Okay.
So that's kind of cool. And also other external things. For instance, we have this nice handy little thing.
Is that HDMI?
Here. It is.
Wow.
I think the TV actually
we can actually see our screen here as soon as we turn on the TV.
There's so many reviews today that just the TV turned off from being so bored waiting for it. Oh, good. Well,
come on, TV.
Demo fail here. This is
Should
awesome.
I wake it up?
I pressed the button. It's a slow TV.
I saw you playing with this earlier.
Yeah.
Well, it's because the GizWiz is on it, and I hit it. Oh, look at that.
So we got.
You know what? That looks great.
So, but a cool thing that we can do is if we. Let's see.
Can you do this wirelessly with DLNA, or do you have to use a hardwired HDMI cable?
It does have Miracast support with Windows 8.1, so if you have a Miracast thing, you could send that too. But if I change this to extend, now we have a whole second screen here. So a cool thing that we can do, as an example, is here. Why don't you grab this?
Okay. And we've got the desktop up on the screen right now.
We'll go ahead and plug this in here because it's got a USB port. And I can go ahead and
we've got a desktop on the big screen, and you've got the regular touch
carry
interface
this over
here.
because it's an extended screen. So
yeah.
Now I've got that
oh my! And I'm now playing.
Yeah. So if you could skip through that.
Holy cow!
Then in the meantime, while you're going ahead and play some awesome games.
You can still work?
I can still do whatever I want here. So I'm going to go open up some Twitter and kind of see what's going on. Okay, that's
and this is an Xbox controller. How am I connecting the Xbox controller?
USB.
Via USB?
Yeah, if you had the wireless controller, you'd have there's a wireless thing. Oh, I think it broke it somehow.
Well, it worked great. So thank you very much for the demo. Frozen solid, ladies and gentlemen.
There we go.
There
okay,
we
now
go.
start.
Okay.
Now go ahead
Now
and play
press
something.
start. Okay.
So while you're playing, I'm
All
gonna
right, this
just
is
go
the
ahead
demo.
Here to
I am going to
desktop.
play a game while you.
So, yeah, I'll go ahead and go to
I'm
that
pressing
one
all the
there.
buttons
yeah,
I know
so
of.
Go over there. You're right there. Go there.
Go over
somewhere.
there.
Yeah, just go right and up.
Yes, this is not a demo
Okay,
fail.
well,
This is a user fail.
So, theoretically, you're playing this awesome game that's got some actually decent graphics for a Surface RT.
How do I get over there? I'm using the thumbsticks. Okay, the mouse works great though. So would you
the mouse
select that
works
for
great.
me?
So now
Thank
try
you.
it. Now see if you can hit go to. Oh boy. Well, let's try plugging this back in. This is awesome. It worked in the preview
Burke
here.
said he also.
Yeah, but then I got it to work with him.
Oh, you got it to work. So I'm just gonna.
So theoretically, you're playing a game. Whatever. Okay.
No. Start the game. I want to play the game now. It's loading.
And so it's loading the game. Yeah, it's
All right, it's not super fast.
So we'll pretend you're playing it. So in the meantime, while you're playing a game, I'm just going to go ahead and start typing some stuff here in Word and get some documents typed. And also while I'm doing that, I can.
Does that come
let's
up a
see.
lot that somebody wants to play with your tablet
Oh, of course,
while
all the
you're
time.
writing?
So, and then also I can pin Twitter to the side here and do. And so now I got
You've
three-way
got
multitasking.
three-way.
going here.
All right, wait a minute. 0-0. Let's go. Come on. Go.
I don't think it's
let's.
I might. Okay. Oh look, I can pin a four. Yeah. So now I got four things going on
I'm
at once.
playing a game here.
So the point of this is that I've got 4 programs running right now on a Surface RT.
Sort of.
Sort of. Yeah. I mean, in theory, and that can be kind of cool. But also, and that now going back to what I typed in Word, this awesome thing because it's Windows, it's got printer support, so I can go ahead and go to print.
Now,
and
we're going to get,
sending
between
it out to
now
our
and
NFP
next
right
show,
now.
we're going to get the Nokia 2520, which
Yeah.
is the only other RT tablet out with a new RT81.
Right, it's just Surface RT to
Nokia and Microsoft, that's
and
it.
Nokia,
Yeah. So I'm going to be very interested in comparing the two.
So am I,
you chose this one, and I chose the other one. I'm thinking, well, we'll see. There is a big difference. One's using the Qualcomm chip, one's using the Tegra.
Performance-wise, I'm sure they're very similar.
We'll see.
Oh,
yeah.
look, my
printed.
my thing that
It printed.
it printed.
And not only that, I won my race while you weren't looking.
You sure did. We're gonna just unplug that. All right. pretend that worked like a charm. So anyway, now because it's RT and you're limited to the Windows Store apps, if you're a Pandora user, Spotify, iTunes, Google Music, you're out of luck for this
Pandora
kind of stuff.
supposedly is coming.
Supposedly it's coming.
Instagram
yes.
supposedly coming. They're adding more all the
that's
time.
for phone.
Only phone? Okay.
Pandora might be coming with this, I'm not sure.
Okay.
But for now, you're out of luck. But this does have Xbox Music because you're in
great.
Windows.
And
Xbox
that has a
Music
lot of that.
combines the same kind of thing as
Right.
Spotify. So it's got streaming, it's got a la carte buying, it's got if you pay the subscription, you can just stream all you want and download.
As you almost would expect, and it's certainly true of the iPad, you're
So-
going to be living in the Microsoft
Right. So
ecosystem.
there have for like music and video, there are comparable services
Right.
that are built into Windows.
Right.
So it's not if you are able to switch over to it, then it works.
Nobody is going to have an iPad and say, I want to use my iTunes with this.
Right.
This is in lieu of an iPad. This is you, if you're in the Microsoft ecosystem, this is where you're going to
and that's and the bottom line is this is for someone who's who's a Windows user.
Right.
So now one thing that you get when you buy this is 200 gigabytes of SkyDrive for 2 years.
That's a good deal.
So that's one reason why I lean towards this over
Right.
Nokia, because you're not going to get that with the 2520. So that's it's 200 gigabytes for 2 years. So that's $200 worth.
That's a good deal.
So it's
And this is $499?
$449.
$449.
So $449 if you minus 200 from that.
Plus the keyboard, which is another 100.
130 for this one.
Okay.
Yeah. So and that's the other thing is keyboard is not included.
Right. Right.
So there's that. And you also get like a 1 year of Skype Wi-Fi unlimited use. I'm not a Skype user, so I'm not actually sure how that works, but there you go.
Microsoft owns Skype, and they're starting to bundle it in as part of the.
So they're kind of
come on.
throwing these things in
Yeah,
to make it more enticing.
Well, I think that's the thing that I always found interesting about RT was the idea that you get a kind of an all-in-one system. It is a tablet system,
Right.
But because it supports Office, you can have a lot more that you can do with it.
Right.
And this type keyboard is a real keyboard.
Yeah,
I mean,
no,
there's
it's
doubt about it.
really nice to type on.
So $449 for the base unit, Wi-Fi only. It goes up from there. Pros and cons. Let's do that.
Pros and cons. So pros are it's super flexible, both in hardware and software. So like that demo that didn't really
I love
work.
it that you could plug in.
Theoretically, you can do a lot kind of thing. Like you can put it up to your TV and plug stuff in. And it's like
HDMI,
and also just physically, like you could have it in like laptop mode or just tablet mode, standing up like that, or just down on there, or other kind of things. orientation that I like to be in is if I'm laying in bed or on a couch, is doing this and just sitting this on top of me.
That works pretty well.
Just, just reading stuff.
You know, Mary Jo and Paul mentioned that, and I thought that's counterintuitive because I'm typing.
It's great for on the couch. Like if you're watching TV on the couch, you just kind of sit this on top of you and just kind of read some stuff.
It's a tray.
Yeah.
How is the weight on this?
It's like 1.5 pounds, little under 1.5 pounds. It's a tiny bit lighter than the old one, but it's a little heavier than
an iPad, about 50% heavier than an iPad, but
it's also because it doesn't have the tiny thin edges of the iPad. Right. It feels thicker and heavier than that one, but but numbers wise, it's very similar.
So I'm gonna guess a buy.
Well, so more pros. So
there's more pros.
So the all-day battery life I mentioned earlier, and it's got the 200 gig of SkyDrive. So those are the pros.
Yep.
Cons are it's limited to the Windows Store apps.
Right.
And if you can
as
deal
are
with that,
all RT tablets.
Right. But that's not totally bad. So in the year or so that this has been out with the RT, more apps have come out and it's gotten better, and I now have a core set of apps that I can just live in this for casual use. Enough so that I don't have to take a laptop with me if I'm going on a trip. If it's a small trip, I just take that with me.
I think that's the real point of this.
There's a nice IRC app. Now you got Twitter and Facebook and.
Now I notice you've taken the camera tile off of here. Do you use the camera ever?
I don't know because I don't want to. No,
it's kind of dorky looking, but you got it. Yeah. It's got front-facing camera for Skyping as well. Yeah.
And then the other con is that the keyboard is not included, so it's an extra thing, and you really do need this with it, so you should include the price for that.
Right. So try, buy, don't buy?
I would say try. It's a fantastic companion device if you are in the Windows ecosystem, and then everything just works with it. Everything syncs. So like I have Windows 8 running on all my computers,
and you don't have to worry.
All this
it's
stuff
all
just
there.
syncs over.
And SkyDrive's there.
Yeah, and it works great in that sense. If you're not in the Windows ecosystem, this is not going to be for you.
Right.
But if you are, I still say it's a try because you have so many options.
Right.
This is
so many Windows Pro options.
Yeah, right. Yeah, like or the Nokia.
Right.
I mean, that's going to be a nice thing too, and you're just going to have to see which one works for you the best. If you're a pro user that needs desktop apps on your tablet for whatever reason, there are tablets that have that.
Right.
If you don't, then this is a great device.
Alex Gumpel's the Flow Master, and he's going to give it a try on the brand new Surface 2 tablet. You got in line at midnight. You went to the Microsoft store.
I didn't plan on it doing that, but I thought, okay, they're doing that. It kind of looked like fun. I thought I'd try it. I'd take pictures. And
there were some other.
I actually wasn't planning on buying it right away, but then after I played with it for a while, I was like, yeah, it is snappier.
All right. Well, he decided to buy anyway.
Yeah.
Thank you, Alex. I appreciate it.